You just did something pretty amazing. You hit play on TechVibe Pittsburgh to get your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. I'm your host, Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and I've been telling the stories across Pittsburgh's tech industry for nearly 30 years now. How can a region with a 200-year manufacturing legacy become the engine that powers the next wave of AI data centers and advanced technology? Many communities are struggling to rebuild after industrial decline, yet Southwestern Pennsylvania has a unique chance to leverage its metals, machining, and energy expertise to supply the physical infrastructure that AI and data centers require. In this episode of TechVibe, I welcome Petra Mitchell, President and CEO of Catalyst Connection, as she shares how her organization is helping hundreds of manufacturers modernize, diversify, and plug into this once-in-a-generation opportunity. Keep on listening to discover how Catalyst Connection is strengthening local supply chains and creating good jobs across all 12 counties of Southwestern PA. Hear how partnerships with world-class research universities and economic development groups give local manufacturers a first look at cutting-edge innovations, and find out how Southwestern Pennsylvania's manufacturing base is being positioned to power the AI era and how Catalyst Connection is at the center of it all. Let's jump into my conversation with Petra right now.
And so, Petra, so glad to have you hanging out with me today. It's always a joy to connect. And for us at the Tech Council, we get really stoked because, obviously, we know it's like peanut butter and jelly. Manufacturing and tech, they just go together. And I think our region is just so lucky because we have such a cool manufacturing base that goes back 200 years, right? And then we have all this new tech moving us forward. So for us, it's like a match made in heaven. So first and foremost, tell us about yourself real fast. I think you've been at Catalyst. You are the pillar of Catalyst Connection. Tell me about Petra Mitchell real fast.
Yeah. Hi, Jonathan. It's great to see you. My name is Petra Mitchell, and I am the president and CEO of Catalyst Connection. I have been with this organization for 31 years. So it's been a long time. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm so proud of the work that we have done during that time period, helping manufacturers diversify from declining sectors over time, enter new sectors, invest in new technologies, invest in workers, and really just modernize. I mean, Jonathan, if you think about it, there's companies in our region that have been around for 100 years, literally 100 years.
Absolutely.
They are doing something right. They are changing, innovating, responding to new opportunities, responding to new demand. And I couldn't be prouder to have played a small role in that transformation.
Absolutely. There's a really cool point of pride around that because I'm right there with you where I get so stoked about our industrial roots and what a strength that has been for us. And to see that go on to the next level because of technology, to me, it's just fantastic. Tell me the key things that Catalyst Connection does when it comes to keeping these 100-year-old manufacturers relevant and profitable and moving into the future.
Yeah, so Catalyst Connection is an economic development organization. So our mission is strictly to help manufacturers grow and ultimately retain and create good jobs for people in our community. I mean, that's the bottom line. We want to see everyone in our community prosper as a result of manufacturing, whether they're involved directly in the industry or in a supporting role. And so in order to do that, Jonathan, we provide companies with consulting services, anything that they might need to grow their business and improve their productivity. We help companies adopt new technologies. We provide a lot of training and support to do that. And then we are also, really getting into boosting local supply chains. I know that's something we're going to talk about today. So I'll hold on that a moment. And we support workforce development by helping to build a, viable, strong talent pipeline, starting all the way back in middle school. We start in middle school, support students through their high school careers, job seekers, and incumbent workers of all levels. So I believe it's a very broad portfolio. We have a little bit of something for everybody in our community.
I mean, obviously, I've always looked at it as like you're just one-stop shop. If you're a manufacturer, an advanced manufacturer that's looking to evolve, looking to find new opportunities, looking to grow, you hang out with Catalyst Connection, you plug them into the resources and the knowledge they need, in order to succeed. It's been really fun watching the work that you guys
Uh,
do, because this keeps us going here in Southwestern
yeah, I
Pennsylvania.
agree. I
That's
like to think that one-stop shop, absolutely.
let's kind of jump into some of the supply chain stuff. Something at the Tech Council that we are very excited about is the region's opportunity around data centers and energy production, and how they come together to address the growing needs of AI. And I love the fact that Catalyst can play a humongous role in being able to use some of our old resources and turn them into new resources that can take our economy forward. And so I guess my first question kind of goes around, how does our region's legacy in advanced manufacturing and material science provide this critical foundation, building the physical infrastructure that's needed for things like AI and these data centers? And we're talking about things like cooling systems, enclosures, all the structural components that kind of come together to make a data center happen. And we can do that right here on some old sites that we can make new again, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, Jonathan, I mean, our region has this historical strength in metals, fabrication, and precision machining. I mean, this is what came out of our industrial legacy, the steel and metals industries. Those are the kinds of companies that really, started here and thrived here. And so now, absolutely, those are the kinds of processes and services that you need to support a data center. The enclosures, the supports, the steel, the metal cabinetry, the cooling systems, all of that. We have this strong base of companies. In fact, we believe it's over 300 companies in our region alone that could participate in a data center supply chain ecosystem. Absolutely.
I'm assuming that has to be pretty unique for a region like ours to have all that built in right there. So all these things really come together where, wow, Catalyst can play an amazing role in getting these different manufacturers, these products plugged into this chain. So these products can be put on site and ready to go.
Absolutely. I mean, that, like I said, we have that strong, solid foundation, and it's not concentrated just in Pittsburgh. We have a
Right.
vast southwestern Pennsylvania region. We consider it the 12th county region. That's our service territory of southwestern Pennsylvania. And these companies are located in every corner of that region.
I love that. And what makes me excited about that is just because, yeah, I think everyone always kind of makes the 12th county region. You just say Pittsburgh because it's like, yeah, that's the most identifiable place, and we're in the center. But we look at some of the opportunities then to bring some of these communities that once were very thriving because of our former steel past and so forth. And this is an opportunity for these regions to really just gain more momentum and to create more economic opportunity for the people that live there, to draw more people to live there. So tell me more about your thoughts on that, because I love us being able to include everybody, whether you're in Washington County or in Westmoreland County, Butler County. You can be part of this rise. It's not just Pittsburgh that's rising. It's all these counties that are around us to support us and make us big.
Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. We've been talking a little bit about our historical strengths. And unfortunately, a lot of people remember the decline of that as well. People do remember the decline of the industry and the impact that that had on communities and job losses and so forth. And we have to recognize that that is a real part of our history. I think what we also have to remember in that scenario, that for many communities, it was the small manufacturers that left even a little glimmer of hope for them and
Okay.
were the seedlings of that potential, vibrancy and growth that we are talking about today. So
Mhm.
all over the Mon Valley, rich area for the steel industry, now full of small and medium-sized manufacturers. And
Absolutely.
again, these are the companies that left that little glimmer of hope, continued to remain viable, and now are on the verge of some significant growth opportunities that can create opportunities for everybody.
I just be really pumped about this.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're on the precipice of something really big here. And that to me is just like, wow, like we can actually, it's like watching history being made in some sort of a way, which I just think is really amazing stuff. Want to talk a little bit more, like, obviously, like, we just had an issue of our on-ramp magazine looking at the amount of power production that our region has. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You think about our region for the past 250 years has been a source of energy. Think of all the energy that's been coal was was discovered here in Mount Washington, right?
Mhm.
Nuclear was developed here and first deployed in Beaver County. We've been leading the way when it comes to energy production, and we can still run that as we move forward here. When it comes to having this infrastructure and the industrial real estate that we have going on here. many of these places have been decommissioned because we have changed and so forth, but they're laying idle. They're ready to go. We've seen some of that actually happening, like up in Butler with some of these coal plants being recommissioned to do natural gas to supply energy for data centers. Where does Catalyst come down? This is an opportunity for our region to once again play a role with tying that into these great companies
Mhm.
that have the equipment and the hardware and so forth.
Yeah. So, Jonathan, it's been quite interesting for us. We have been supporting the natural gas industry with local manufacturing supply chains now for 6 or 7 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have an initiative we called Shale Power. And so that initiative is all about connecting local manufacturers to natural gas, shale gas, primarily production,
Nice.
transmission, and even utilization. And we've helped hundreds of companies learn about those opportunities and pursue new business. So this is a very familiar industry for us. We know that industry, we know those players. And so thinking about, okay, now what's the next level? How do we help them, help that industry expand into energy production for data centers and other new technologies? We're ready to go with a proven model to help more manufacturers participate in that, to scale up, to build more capacity, and to keep it local. That's what we're all about. People talk about buy American. We say buy Appalachian, buy Pittsburgh.
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. We often forget that. Yeah, we can actually keep this very local, which is just very exciting because it just
Yeah.
intensifies the impact that this can have for these local communities, the people, the jobs, and all of that good stuff around it. And one of the
Yeah.
things that our region obviously is very well known for, of course, is our universities and our R&D institutions here. Oh my God, I've always said this is our secret sauce here. How can we work with our institution, our research and university to make this happen, to
Make this
really give us
happen. Yeah.
yeah,
So Callis Connection is actually co-located with Carnegie Mellon University's Manufacturing Futures Institute, MFI. We are both in the Hazelwood Green development in the Mill 19 building. We are mutually committed to moving the needle on manufacturing innovation. So of course, Carnegie Mellon, MFI, they're leaders in AI research, in engineering, data science, 3D printing. I mean, they are at the top of that echelon, in the world, globally recognized. But we're also able to leverage that and share some of that with our local community just by proximity. We have sort of a first, front row seat to what's going on there and the first opportunity to engage with some of these amazing innovations. And then, we just look down the street and we have the University of Pittsburgh right in our backyard. We have
100%.
Penn State, even WVU. And Cal's Connection has built relationships with all of those research universities to engage manufacturers in applied research and development projects. There's a number of programs that support that. We've been working with these universities to bring students to the table to solve real world problems at manufacturing establishments. We've helped connect with interns and co-op students and those kinds of things. And we've even helped to place some students, engineering graduates, business graduates, even helped to place some of them in local manufacturing companies, which they might not have considered hadn't it been
Absolutely.
for the experience that they got during their college career.
One thing we found really interesting at the Tech Council is many times we'll go out and we will also visit with students and faculty and so forth at places like Carnegie Mellon University. As you talk to some of these students, they want to know how stuff is made. There is an interest that like stuff actually gets manufactured. And the idea that right here in Pittsburgh, we make a lot of stuff and you can help them make it better. And so I think they get really excited. And so the more we can get out there and show these students that you can stay here in Pittsburgh and be part of a manufacturing company doing really fun, important work, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And we get excited about that.
And I have to give, CMU a lot of credit, the MFI, the Manufacturing Futures Institute, and also our Mill 19 partners, the ARM Institute. They open their doors. They open their doors. They want to show us what they're working on. They want us to know about the latest and greatest developments so that we can help to disseminate that information broadly into the community. And again, give our manufacturers a leg up because they're here. They can be the first to the table to implement and adopt the latest and greatest advancements. So we have quite an advantage, I believe, in having, CMU, Pitt, and the major research universities as part of our community.
And what's crazy to me is there's another layer to this whole onion that we've been talking about. I mean, we were talking about the fact that we have energy, we got manufacturers, we have research and development. We also have a cadre of organizations like Catalyst Connection. I mean, I'll even say the Tech Council, the Allegheny Conference. All these places are here to help make that work. So I feel like we have the support network then that goes with all of this to really give it that extra boost. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, that to me just feels like we got all of these key things in place. Let's
Yeah.
get it all rowing together in the same direction, and we got some magical stuff happening, right?
Absolutely. We're very fortunate in our community to have the strength and breadth of the partnerships that you just mentioned, including the Pittsburgh Technology Council. I mean, you're reaching to the community with the tech members, with support members, manufacturing members, your advocacy work, your supplier forums, all of that are critical part of really helping manufacturers learn about new opportunities and pursue them. The other partners that you mentioned in economic development, helping startups, helping to advocate on behalf of our region, helping to bring in more funding. All of that is a critical part of this ecosystem and our cluster building work that we're really trying to pursue right now.
So much exciting stuff. And what gets me kind of really excited for Catalyst Connection is that you guys are really like this pivot point on all of this. You're kind of like this hub where this all is going to kind of roll through. And it makes your job so exciting, right? I mean, it's one of these things. It's like people often ask me, because I've been the Tech Council for 28 years. You've been at Catalyst for 31 years. And it's like, that's a long time. It's like, no, we're working on really fun and important stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got to get you pretty fired up. And I'm sure your staff has to be super fired up because you're actually able to see the impact of this happen almost as it's
Mhm.
happening in so many ways. How cool is that to be playing this role?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think it's very cool. But, I couldn't be more proud of our staff and our partners because everyone has a role to play in this work. We
Right.
all have to do our part. And we all have to recognize that it's not a one size fits all solution. So
Good
manufacturers
point.
need a lot of support. It isn't, just Catalyst Connection or just the Tech Council. I think the secret sauce for our community is that we do work together and we do try to bring everything to the table for these manufacturers, including our staffs. I think our staffs at many levels work together, as you know, Jonathan. And, again, that's our secret sauce, I think.
It's good stuff. It's an amazing story. I'm so glad you got to tell me a little bit
Yeah.
what's going on because we love getting the word out to our audiences and our members so they can understand that, yeah, there's like a buzz in the air and there's a reason for
Mhm.
that because there's some really
Yeah.
cool stuff going on. And be able to watch this come together over the past like 18 months around the data center opportunity has just been absolutely amazing. So, Petra, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today to give me
Yes.
some insight. It's great stuff. It makes for a good story.